What's that? Heian period aristocratic men's fashion was more complicated than the women? With women being forced behind closed doors because of the Kusuko Incident, they could really be pretty loose in their choice of colors and patterns in their clothing. This was not true of the men who had to be working out in public. Despite having so many restrictions, men would be able to find their own unique fashion sense. Men's fashion in the Heian period could really be a masterclass topic, and we're only going to be brushing the surface, so buckle up because this is going to get interesting. We're going to talk about what the men wore for business and for leisure, the rules and restrictions they had in their dress, and the colors that were forbidden to wear without permission. While referring to Takashima Katsuko's book, Heian Fashion no Sekai, I visited the Heian Shozoku Kocho-no-kai in Kyoto to get a sense of how stylish the Heian men really were. They were the ikemen. Men's fashion does not change much from the Tang Dynasty fashions of the Nara period, but when the missions to China stop, slight changes start to develop. There were so many different types of clothing styles depending on what you did during the Heian period. We're going to focus on 3 types, and these are for the aristocratic family and the government officials, from the emperor down to the 31st rank. Sadly, we are going to leave out the warrior class for now, as they were still kind of new during Murasaki Shikibu's time. But you can watch this video for a broad overview on Japanese armor. Just finish watching this video first, and then go watch that. This is the formal ceremonial dress at court, or the business suit for Heian men, the sokutai. In the book, Takashima-san does give us a look at what goes into a sokutai, including a kosode, 5 layers up top, and 2 different hakama. They also wore a belt instead of an obi. Actually, obi are not invented yet. They'll come later. Men could not show their hair at all, whether in public or in private. It was always pulled up into a mage and then covered with headwear. In public, they wore a suie no kam, which was placed over the mage on their head and then held in place with a dowel. This was the most formal headgear for men. On the feet, they wore a tabi, but their tabi was a little different. They tied them around the ankle with string, rather than the metal tabs that we have on our tabi today. Over the tabi, they wore shoes like the asagutsu or the kanogutsu. During the Nara period, these shoes were worn inside, but by the late Heian period, people would stop wearing shoes inside, and the custom of taking off shoes and leaving them outside was born. The color of the sokutai depended on a man's rank at court. These were the 7 forbidden colors, or kinjiki. There were 7 colors that were forbidden to be worn freely, and the recipient had to be awarded the color by the emperor in order to wear it. Murasaki Shikibu mentions kinjiki in her diary a lot, whether a woman had been given the privilege or had made a major faux pas in her dress. However, it was such common knowledge that she never tells us what the colors were. In fact, the colors do change a few times from the Nara period up until the early Heian period, but the colors were, at the time of Murasaki Shikibu, red, blue, orange, yellow, dark purple, deep scarlet, and deep sapphire. Red and blue and orange and yellow, dark purple, deep scarlet, and deep sapphire. Everyone! Red and blue and orange and yellow, dark purple, deep scarlet, and deep sapphire. The amazing forbidden dream coat. A noble was awarded a color upon his promotion, and he was allowed to wear that color. He could wear any color he wanted as long as he had received permission for it. However, the colors red, blue, orange, and brown were reserved for the upper aristocracy and were off limits to the lower ranks. So that was the sokutai. What else did men wear? What did they wear outside of court business? The nooshi was the casual fashion outside of court for the immediate royal family, such as the emperor, the princes, and the nobles. You are seeing this when you see depictions of Hikaru Genji. Colors and patterns were not restricted, so they could be as fashionable as they could afford. They could also wear tabi and shoes. To make the ensemble business casual, they wore the suie no kan. But to make it casual, they wore a tate-eboshi. The name of this outfit, kariginu, literally means hunting wear. This was the hunting outfit of the Heian men. This really looks like the nooshi, except that the cuffs at the sleeves and the hakama could be gathered together around the wrists and ankles with cord. The armpit area of the kariginu is open. This was called ketteki. The same area was closed for the sokutai and the noshi, which is called houteki. The kariginu could be embellished with different colors and patterns just like the noshi, but since this was the trainer or the jogging wear of the Heian period, men went barefoot and they wore the casual tate-eboshi. Over time, the kariginu would rise up to be the official ceremonial dress for warriors. Men of the Sengoku period were all about individualism and style, and the kariginu would make them stand out. In the present day, shrine priests wear the kariginu in some shrine rituals. When I asked the members of the Heian Shozoku Kocho-no-kai about men's fashion, I assumed that the kariginu was the correct style for Heian aristocrats. Maybe in the Muromachi period, but in the Heian period it would have been the nooshi or the sokutai. However, I think it would have been rude of me to be trying on a sokutai for a video. There are aristocrats that still wear that today. I am not an aristocrat, so you're going to see how to wear a kariginu. So now let's try on the kariginu, the Heian period hunting suit. Again, I am instructed by the members of the Heian Shozoku Kocho-no-kai, Daihyo Takasuga-san, traditional clothing collector Asagi-san, Sato Tomoko-san, and artist Mishima Yuko-san. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Before the dressing starts, the okata wears a kosode trousers and the tate-eboshi. Remember, men could not show their head undressed ever. The dressers bow to the okata before getting started with the dressing. The sashinuki is the first to go on. These trousers are tied at the top of the calf for games like playing kemari, or around the ankle for less rigorous activities. I was told that there was a specific way to tie these on so that they don't come loose. It seems that they can come undone if not done right. In the Heian period, the next layer would be a hitoe kimono made of linen and was worn as a sweat guard to protect the upper layers of clothing. But this changed in the Muromachi period to the okatabira. This is what's being put on now. This layer would ideally be made of silk. However, aristocrats were poor in the Muromachi period, and so the parts that would be seen would be made of silk, while the other parts hidden underneath would be linen. This layer would be held in place with a himo. The next layer is the akome. This would be the same for both the Heian and the Muromachi periods. This layer would be adjusted for the season, whether the climate was hot or cold. The akome was a very stylish layer to the kariginu, and would be made of silk like this very nice pink color called so in Japanese. The pattern is based on the aoi plant, and where the aoi festival gets its name. If the man wanted to be, like Hikaru Genji, he would pull out this layer from under the top layer to look more appealing. More macho manly. Okay, but getting back. The sashinuki would be tied over the kosode, okatabira, and the akome. You can see the pattern on this now. Aristocrats of the Heian period paid special attention to things that held good luck. The aoi on the akome is especially important to aristocrats, but also wisteria, or Fuji. Both Aoi and Fuji come out in May, and there are several festivals that celebrate them both. You will find lots of examples of patterns incorporating flowers, plants, insects, birds, and other animals. These patterns would have been engi ga ii, or hold good luck for Heian aristocrats. Next is the kariginu. This would be the sportswear part of the outfit. We were talking about Abe no Seimei since he was a famous onmyoji who is often depicted in this style. This kind of outfit would have been his daily uniform. Abe no Seimei was able to reach a 4th level in rank, a very high-ranking aristocrat. His sons were not able to reach such a high rank since they were not able to live as long as their father did, who was 84 years old when he passed away. Anyways, the front and back of the kariginu is cinched up, slightly tucked into the sashinuki, and then tied off. The cord on the sleeves can be used to gather the sleeves around the wrist when the occasion called for it. The collar is made of rolled up paper and does not bend or lose its shape unless you force it to. I've never actually seen this up close before. I was told that the making of the collar is a specialist craft. Here it is, the Heian/Muromachi Kariginu hunting suit. Can I move around in it? Yes I can. I can wave my arms, kick my legs, and move around quite freely. Can I sit in it? Men sat with their knees bent and the bottoms of their feet touching each other. This is called agura. Since this is a kariginu and not anything formal, I'm not supposed to be wearing tabi, but I will save you from the horror of seeing my feet for the sake of accuracy. The outfit was really comfortable to wear. I liked it even better than the Juni stoe I tried on in the last episode. The top of the sashinuki is stiff like an obi would be, so I had a lot of support around my waist. I'm the type of person to feel quite undressed without an obi, so this made me feel really comfortable. この色がいいですね。
ありがとうございます。萌木っていう色になりますね。
I am a fan of this color. A lot of the kimono in my collection are green, which is really bad for green screens. The kariginu really did make me feel like a man, opposed to the Juni stoe, which made me feel small and princess-like. It was certainly different from the modern kimono obi and hakama outfit I am used to. I did feel like an aristocrat, or even onmyoji Abe no Seimei.
全然全然。
許しがないね、本当に上手で、書いていただいて本当にありがとうございます。こんな感じでしたね。Thank you to the members of the Heian Shozoku Kocho-no-kai, 代表 Takasuga-san, traditional clothing collector Asagi-san, Sato Tomoko-san for introducing me to the Heian Shozoku Kocho-no-kai, and also to artist Mishima Yuko-san. いろいろ指導していただいてありがとうございます。Also, thank you to Takashima Katsuko-san and Yurindo for allowing me to share Heian Fashion no Sekai in this episode. ありがとうございました。So, we've talked about the Heian period dress for aristocratic women and men. What was the perfect Heian beauty? Sei Shonagon and Murasaki Shikibu tell us a lot about what beauty was in their time. You'd be surprised by what they had to say. In the next episode, we'll talk about the beauty standards of Heian aristocrats and their beauty routine. You may get a different sense about that beautiful woman Kino Haseo wins in that Bansuguroku game. But that's all I have for today. See you next time.
極度何春でございました。